everybody. What can I say? We all go through the city and we all see different things that we think, I wish we could change this, you know, something that just might make you want to do something good, and you think, I don't know how, I don't know where to even begin. Well, one guy had that thought and he just did it anyways. He just knew where to begin, and he just did something, and now it's snowballed into this amazing project called the Humanity Project. Charlie Burrell is here to talk to us about it. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. So, give us an idea of what the Humanity Project is all about.
The Humanity Project is a group of like-minded individuals who want to make a difference in this world and know that by working together, regardless of our race, our political beliefs, just taking politics out of it and just the red tape and the bureaucracy, because we already know there's problems. It's just a matter of spending that time to go fix those problems.
So how did you come about this? Well, you're trying to essentially eliminate homelessness in the Moncton area, or at least at the base level, give homeless people a chance, a fighting chance to you know, either if it's simply having a meal that day, to getting on their feet and maybe being able to find a job. What sparked in you to say, I gotta try to fix this?
Like how it started is I was driving down a road in January and it was freezing cold, and I remember that day my hand stuck to the door, on my screen door, and when I was driving there was an elderly gentleman. He was about 67 years old. He was pushing a cart. He had no hat, no mittens, and just a pair of shoes on, and I remember looking at him thinking I should help that guy, and I didn't. And it really, really bothered me. It bothered me for about a week, and at the time I was laid off. I wasn't working, and I knew I couldn't afford to help these people. But I knew I couldn't afford not to help these people with the friends and the family and the resources I have. And with social media nowadays, I just went on Facebook and I said, if you have any old hats and mittens, peanut butter, crackers, your kids buy new book bags every year for school, and you got a bunch of them taking up dust in your closet, we'll take them. And then we ended up going out. We made 33 winter survival packs.
That's amazing. So 33 winter survival packs, and then soon after, you went out into the community looking for homeless people to give these packs to.
Yeah, we went out, we searched day and night. We looked in parking garages, we looked under bridges, we looked in every nook and cranny in the city. We talked to homeless people to find out where other ones were staying, and then we would bring them these packs, and it was a life-changing experience.
At the very onset, like when you first did it, what was the reception? I could imagine that the average homeless person, just going through their daily grind, just their day-to-day routine, wouldn't expect a stranger to come up with a pack full of warm clothes and food for them.
No, and that's generally because we've all been fed this social stereotype. Like when I think, not now, but when I used to think of a homeless person, I always thought of like this dirty person standing there with a bottle of wine in their hand and covered in a brown paper bag. Like it just had that image in my head.
Sure,
and,
like that bum kind of...
Exactly.
That image, right.
And, and I don't know if they're mentally ill, if they're crazy, if they're criminals, and you don't know, so most people won't approach them. Out of 107 homeless people I found out on the streets of Moncton, sleeping outside in the snow, not one has ever given me a hard time. When you approach somebody that's freezing and hungry, and you give them a blanket and something to eat, they are over the moon happy, and they are not there to fight with you or argue with you. And, I've met some of the nicest people out on the streets that just, fell between the cracks and needed a helping hand up.
You mentioned that you said 107 people.
Yeah.
107 people just out there that you found outside, sleep, literally homeless outside sleeping. That's a lot.
Yeah.
What do you think is the problem here?
There's, for every homeless person I've ever met, the problems are always different. I've met ones that, they have addiction problems, but then if you look at, like our addiction services now, when you get out of addiction services, you feel like your life is back on track, but you get thrown into a rooming house with 10 guys that didn't go to addiction services with you, or you're left out on the street walking 12 hours a day, and it doesn't take long. I met this one gentleman. He was sitting underneath a set of stairs at a business, and when I met him, he had his cell phone plugged into the wall, and he was looking for a job. And I asked him, I said, what happened? And he said, I was working for 6 years, I got laid off, waiting for my unemployment. You can't talk to unemployment until 28 days. And at 28 days, I called them and they realized there was a problem that they had to fix. But by that time, he lost his apartment. So he was literally going to the soup kitchen during the day, eating hot dogs at night, 3 for 99 cents, so that he could save his money to get that damage deposit and pay for that apartment.
And again, that goes against that stereotypical idea that we have of the homeless person, of the bum. This is a guy who just dealt a bad hand, and just needed a little bit of help to get ahead. Now, you told me this. What did you do to help him out?
We called one of the landlords we work with, and I said, do you have any apartments right now? And they said, Charlie, the key's on the counter. You can take them there. I took them there, brought an air mattress, bunch of blankets, put them in there, set them up, and, he paid the rent on the first by himself. It wasn't a problem. And today, the other day, I got a donation from Mark's Work Warehouse. I gave him a pair of work boots. He went to his job interview, and he started work on Monday. It's just giving people a little helping hand back up.
That's amazing. Amazing. That's exactly it. And that's what I think is really fantastic about what you're doing is, for better or for worse, there's a lot of corporate red tape that kind of comes down into this. And of course, there's always checks and balances. Sometimes there's very good reasons why that red tape is there. But it kind of seems to muddle the overall vision of this is a problem. And it needs to be addressed, and some of these people can't wait for the 28 days that it takes to talk to unemployment or whatever the situation is.
Exactly. And we're feeding people right now out of a parking lot. We're feeding 600 to 1,000 people every week. And one thing that people have said is, aren't you worried about someone getting food poisoning or someone getting sick and you being liable for that? No, I'm not. Because nobody's worried about that homeless man that gets sick or gets food poisoning from eating out of a dumpster. Nobody's there to take care of them, but we're just trying to help. So if it comes down to liability issues, I would rather be liable and know that 100 people ate that day for that chance of that one liability, because it's about doing what's right. We let bureaucracy and red tape, like you said, stand in the way, slow down the process. We can think about it, we can talk about it, or we can just do it. We already know the problems. We already have the solutions. You see enough posts on Facebook and social media go viral on tiny houses or buses turned into showers and laundromats for homeless people. We just need to implement those ideas and make them happen.
You mentioned social media. It's been a big part of what you do. You go out there and you film these people, film them. What was the idea behind that? Why make the videos? And you also blur out their faces.
Yeah.
So what's the idea behind that?
That's one of my biggest pet peeves, is when you go online and you see somebody helping a homeless person. And you see their video and they're helping them. And you look at their other videos, and they're not helping people. They're prank videos, or they're car videos, or there's something else, and they just throw in that homeless video. To me, I wouldn't even make videos, but it's about educating the public while keeping human decency. Because if I get a homeless guy a job here, I don't want you to know that that guy is the guy from the video. But I do want you to know that we have a problem in our town or in our city, and we can work together to resolve it. So it's about educating the public, but keeping human decency for those that are on the street.
That's really fantastic. I think the videos are really eye-opening when you sit there and you watch them. I also like the fact that I believe that you use the hashtag of WeCanFixThis.
That's right.
I like that because it's just very simple and to the point.
Yeah, because we can fix this. In 2015, the idea of homelessness, it's funny because you hear politicians, and the one thing they always say is, we got to create jobs, we got to create jobs. But we know there is not enough affordable housing in this country for working poor families or for single parents. We have a homeless problem in this country, but I know a ton of electricians and plumbers and contractors who could get a lot of work if we just build housing across the country. And it seems to me like not rocket science, but that would solve two problems all in one.
Just got to get it all done.
Create some jobs.
I've come to the difficult part of this interview where I don't have a lot of time left.
Yeah.
We are going to get you into the second part of the show. But my next question was going to be a pretty big one to ask. I'll get you to answer when we come back. We'll set up. But I guess it's the idea of whether or not you think that government should be playing a bigger role to try to break down some of these barriers. But as you mentioned, it seems so nuanced where not everybody is dealing with the same problem. Therefore, it must make it more complicated to try to fix all these problems, to try to really break down the homelessness. But again, we'll have plenty of time to talk about that in the next part. After this commercial break, we will be back with Charlie Burrell about talking about the Humanity Project. Stick around. Welcome back, everybody. Talking to absolutely inspiring individual, Charlie Burrell from the Humanity Project. Charlie, thanks for sticking around with us.
No problem.
Going into the commercial break, I was talking about government, the role that government can play in this. Do you think that government should be playing a bigger role in this? Do you think they should really be stepping back and trying, because oftentimes they can be kind of the reason there's so much red tape. Mm-hmm. So what role do you think government should be playing in trying to knock down homelessness?
I think the government needs to I think we need to rethink homelessness and we need to reevaluate. You can look at homelessness and say, okay, we build all the housing for the homeless in everybody's house, but you're going to have a continuous amount of people going homeless because they're working poor. See, the whole system's connected. We need to work together and change a lot of things. Everything from our mental health to our addiction services to our housing. And one thing the government could do is work a little faster. They have resources. And I look at what we have done as a community, which is community members working and pushing to get it done with the mind frame of let's just get it done. And we do it pretty fast. We organize, like when the soup kitchen and the food bank closed down both at the same time for 1 week this summer, within 2 days, we were feeding 100, 150 people every day. And we fed in, I think it was 9 days, 1,600 people. And we organized that in 2 days, just with people, businesses. So, the whole process of talking about it and thinking about it, I think we just need to kind of change our thinking to let's just do it. We don't need to do any more studies. We just need to get it done.
Just need to get it done, absolutely. Really a fascinating way to kind of look at that. And the numbers that you mentioned are staggering, the amount of people that you're feeding. Just give us a sense, even just this past summer, how many homeless people did you see through the summer? Because the summer months usually... there's a lot more people.
Yeah, the summer, like I said, there's 107 I found outside in the wintertime. In the summertime, it has got to be over 300 within the 2 summers about there, because you get a lot of people that travel in the summer, and then you get a lot of people that, like I said, they're not homeless per se, but they're living in their home with no power because they can't afford, to pay their power bill. So in the summertime, they're living in there. You got a couple guys that are staying in there, and they're basically homeless. They got a shelter over their head, but they have nothing else. So it's kind of, this has been a learning experience for me because I've learned a lot in the last 22 months, 23 months that has opened my eyes.
How do you find these people? Is it only through kind of going out into the community, or are you now kind of, now that you've been at this for so long, over almost 2 years now, do they recognize you? Do people talk? Do the homeless people talk about what you do and who you are?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because the homeless community is exactly that. It's a community. They have their own little communities, little kind of like hierarchy, I guess. And at first, I would go out and I would say, hey, Charlie, show up with a flashlight. They start running. They think you're the cops.
Yeah.
But, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. You're coming through the woods or, looking in a hole. They don't know who you are. And I would say, my name's Charlie, I'm with the Humanity Project, and they would kind of either keep going and running, or they would stay. Now when I say that, I find a lot of them will be like, oh, you're Charlie. Or from our meals, I see them there because I'm serving there, and they'll come up, and the other ones will tell them, just go talk to Charlie, and then one of the volunteers or myself or somebody will help them and get them the stuff they need. Or I'll even ask them, where are you staying, and I'll go meet them if I don't have the stuff they have. Like if I don't have it with me.
So already there's kind of like a network, let's say, that's already building from the stuff that you've been doing. Let's talk about some of the things that you've been doing, because you've got some specific projects that you're working on.
Yes.
And let's talk about, first off, what kind of, I would imagine, kickstart the whole thing, the winter survival bags, or the winter survival kits. So what is in this bag that you make?
We put everything in them, from hand warmers to non-perishable foods with pop tops. We put spoons, we put gloves, hats, mittens. We put information on where all the dinners are, local resources in the city. We blankets, sleeping bags, basically everything and anything. Because I'm at the point now where I drive around, and in the back I have a kit that has like one box of just all, I don't know, like soaps and conditioners and stuff like that, and one that's just full of toothpaste, and one that's full of snacks. So I have a variety of stuff depending on what they need. We have, tents. I keep tents with me at all times.
And this is all stuff that's kind of like donated?
It's all donated from our amazing community of people, who I love so much, and thank you all, because they have made a difference in so many people's lives. And that's the thing, like most people, they see our videos, and they see the pictures on Facebook, but they don't get to hear from some of these people the gratitude they have for like the simplest things that these people give. Like what means nothing to you can mean so much to somebody else.
Oh, sure. You talk about shampoo and toothpaste and stuff. That's stuff that people probably, they'll buy 3 tubes on sale at whatever grocery store and never think about it, for months and months and months. But for somebody who really needs it, it's like giving them gold.
Yeah, like we have an issue in this city when it comes to water, and not having any fountains around for any of the homeless. And they have to walk great distances to get that water. And I've given them bottles of water before, and it's like I gave them a bottle of gold. And it's just water. It's something I go home and I turn on my tap, and I don't think twice about. But, to somebody that does not have that, it means the world to them.
I want to make sure we get time to talk about some of these other projects that you're working on. You're also making winterized shelters. So what's the idea behind this?
Well, we went and seen the city. We're looking at trying to get a piece of land in an old bus. We want to use the old bus, turn it into a diner, kind of like so that we can feed them inside so it's not cold, as to, feed them in a parking lot now. And then on the backside, we want to put basically tiny homes, make them nice, aesthetically pleasing with like siding, stuff like that, but make it also so that this winter one of our friends doesn't pass away from exposure. Nobody's keeping track of these people. Nobody knows where they are, and the shelter systems don't work for everybody. So I would rather offer them a place that I know at night they can go in, they can lay down, and they're going to be all right. So we have that. We have our winter survival packs that'll be coming up, and then we're going to have our Secret Santa toy drive as well. That'll be coming up in December.
Oh, the Secret Santa project. This is where you go and you help out families, essentially.
Yeah, last year we sponsored 17 families. We got a list of what their kids wanted, and the families range in size from 1 to 7 children. And local businesses and our community members, we just went through the list, got everything. We went out shopping, and with the help of the Moncton Coupon ladies, we got some really good deals on some toys, and we just, made their Christmas a little bit better.
So you're really getting help from all ends. You're getting companies to donate some things. You've got the Moncton Coupon lady that's helping you for that aspect of it, trying to save, pinch a few pennies, because I imagine everything that you get, you can just make it stretch out a little bit further to help out.
I love those ladies. Those ladies, the first time I ever went shopping, and I thank you for believing in me, because the first time we ever went shopping with them, we fed 33 families for $747. Wow. So that is a valuable asset. It's something I would encourage everybody to go learn how to do, because you can really stretch that dollar and make it help a lot of people.
I mean, that's a good point too. I mean, when we talk about people, these homeless people are obviously facing something very, very difficult. But even you talk about like the working poor, or even the middle class is being crunched down very hard right now. So even just for the average person, any way that they can save a bit of money, absolutely helps. Getting back to you actually met with. We only have a little bit of time left, but you met. Presented in front of the city council this past Monday. What was the reception from them when you gave them this idea of your bus and a piece of land for these shelters?
Reception was pretty good. Some of the councillors seemed like they were pretty on board with it, and it should be done quickly. And I think they realize that with the winter months coming and the cold weather, that this is something that we all have to jump on just to make happen. So I'm staying pretty positive about it, and I hope that we can get it done soon.
What's the best way? We have less than a minute. What's the best way for people to kind of get information? The website, humanityproject.ca.
Yeah, you can go to our website, thehumanityproject.ca, or you can go to our Facebook page. Just send us a message. People that want to volunteer. We also have, for the people that want to help out at Feed the Community with us and what kids need, you can go on our Facebook page. It's just called Feed the Community, and contact us there. And we're always looking for volunteers.
That is fantastic, Charlie. Thank you so much for coming in. I think you're doing fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, to send a message to your local city council, make sure they help out Charlie with this cause of the Humanity Project. We're out, everybody. I want to thank all my volunteers for helping me with this show. Can't do it without them. We will see you next time on Hub City Now.